In this video, I'm going to discuss about earthquake. Earthquake is a motion of ground surface ranging from faint tremor to wild motion capable of shaking buildings apart and causing gaping fissures to open in the ground. Seismic waves are generated by earthquake. Focus is the place of origin of the earthquake. Suppose this is the surface of the earth. So inside the earth is a focus. So this is the focus where the earthquake is actually originating. And this is the perpendicular region to that is called epicenter, which is above the surface of the earth. And Richter scale is used to measure the intensity of earthquake. This earthquake is plotted on seismograph. Causes of earthquake are due to this earthquake is caused by disequilibrium caused by different factors like volcanicity, folding, faulting, gaseous expansion and contraction inside the earth, plate movements, hydrostatic pressure of man-made water bodies like dams, lakes and bigger reservoirs, and weaker zones on the earth are more prone to seismic activity where continuous where folded mountains are there, where continuous folding is taking place. So and recently formed geographical features, so they are more prone to earthquake. Classification of earthquakes: on the basis of causative factors they can be classified into natural and artificial earthquakes. So natural earthquake is caused by natural process like endogenetic forces. The first one is volcanic earthquake. It's caused by volcanic eruptions. The volcanic eruption could be fissure or explosive one, and this is depend on intensity and magnitude of the earthquake. So depending upon the fissure, if it is a fissure one, the intensity of the earthquake will be less, but if it is explosive one, the intensity of the earthquake will be more. Tectonic earthquake caused by dislocation of rock blocks during the faulting. So this is the crust. So this zone is weaker zone. This is suddenly it's undergoing subduction. So due to this sudden faulting, there is chances of tectonic earthquake. An isostatic earthquake, it's due to sudden disturbances in the isostatic balance at regional level. Plutonic earthquake, it occurs very deep inside the earth, ranging the distance ranging between 240 km to 670 km. Artificial earthquakes, they are caused by, it could be a man-induced or anthropogenic cause, and caused by human activities like pumping of water and mineral oil from underground continuously, and this causes some kind of imbalance, isostatic imbalance in the earth inner crust, in the crust, and deep ground mining, nuclear explosion, storage of huge volume of water in reservoirs also can cause isostatic imbalance. Disturbances of earthquakes mostly occurs in zones of young folded mountains. So they are young, recently formed folded mountains. Young folded mountains. So there is chances of earthquake. And zones of a faulting. So these are weaker crust zones. Young folded mountain zones are weaker crust zones. Zones of faulting and fracturing, and at the junction of continental and oceanic margins. Zones of active volcanoes, and along the different plate boundaries. And major regions are circum-Pacific belt surrounding the Pacific Ocean, mid-continental belt that is from the Alpine Himalayan chain, and northern Africa, and epicenter of Eastern African fault zones. Mid-Atlantic belt. These are the major regions where the earthquake occurs frequently. So in this diagram you can see these dotted zones are earthquake prone zones. So this zone Eastern African fault zones, and this is mid-continental belt from Himalayan Alpine region to Himalayan region, and this is circum-Pacific belt. This region is a circum-Pacific belt, circum and mid-Atlantic belt. So in these regions frequently earthquake happens. Seismic waves and tremors. Primary waves. So seismic waves are, there are three types of waves. One is primary waves, another one is secondary waves, the third one is surface waves. So primary waves are called P waves and or longitudinal waves, and they are analogous to sound waves. Faster speed in solid, and in liquid its speed is slower rate. And secondary waves, they are transverse waves, and these waves are analogous to light waves. Primary waves are analogous to sound waves, but these waves, secondary waves, are analogous to light waves and cannot pass through liquid matter, only they can pass through solid matter. Surface waves, long period waves or L waves, affects only the surface of the earth and covers longest distances and speed is lower, but the destruction which is caused by them are more, and these surface waves are violent. The speed is lower than S&P waves, but the destruction caused by them are violent destructions. This is seismograph. This we can see. This is the P waves, primary waves. This is the first S wave, secondary waves. When we look at the intensity, P wave intensity is less. We'll compare it with the S waves. But when we see the surface wave, the intensity is very much. So more intensity. So the destruction caused by them are very much. Path of seismic waves. So S waves travels only in this region. S waves travels only in this region. But P waves travels in this region as well as in this region. This region is shadow zone, which is from 105 degree to 140 degree. This region is known as P wave shadow zone. Both the side we can see that. But this entire region is S wave shadow zone. So which means Earth is made up of solid inner core, liquid outer core. So liquid outer core, so that S wave is not able to travel through this liquid outer core. So the S waves can only pass through solid region and not in the liquid region. But P waves can travel both solid region as well as liquid region. So they are passing through this region. So they are passing through these regions. So P waves are traveling here, but S waves cannot travel in the entire region.